Ohai. Baalbek, the ancient city in Lebanon. It is located in 65 km to the northeast from Beirut at the height of 1130 m. For the first time Baalbek is mentioned in the documents relating to the 14th century BB, 2 times of the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, who established in the territory of Egypt and lands subject to a cult of the solar deity of Aton. The Patriarch of Community of Maronites of Lebanon Estefan Devagi wrote, according to legends, Fortress Baalbek, the most ancient building in the world. It was constructed by Adam's son Cain in 133 from creation of the world, in an attack of mad rage. He called them in honor of the son Enoch and inhabited giants who were punished by the flood for the lawlessness. In spite of the fact that the area was populated from an extreme antiquity, data on the city meet very little before conquest of Phoenicia by Alexander of Macedon in 332. Already at the time the city was the largest religious center where worship Baal. From here the name. And to Dionysus. Greeks identified Baal with Zeus, with Jelly, god of the sun. When after Alexander Phoenicia's death I departed to Ptolemais, that renamed the city into Heliopolis. In 200 Phoenician Heliopolis was conquered by Antiochus Veliki. In government of the Emperor Octavian Augustus. 27 BB-14 AD. Heliopolis is turned into the Roman colony. Julia Augusta Felix. In the I-3 centuries many Roman temples were built here. In 305-311 years the great martyr Barbara of Heliopolis was born here. In the 7th century Baalbek was conquered by Arabs. Since the 9th century Turkic peoples began to get into the region. Baalbek became a part of such Turkic states as the state of Tulunidav. The 9th century. Heshidav. The 10th century. Seljuk. The 11th century. Mamelukav of Egypt. The 13th century. Timirida. The 15th century. The Ottoman Empire. Since the 16th century. In 1759 a strong earthquake practically razed already almost become empty city to the ground. In the 16th century in Europe it became known of existence here of grandiose ruins which became obligatory point of visit by the European travelers in the 19th century. Flabert, Twain and Boonen left descriptions of the impressions of Baalbek. Full-scale excavation was begun by the German scientists in 1898 and 5 years proceeded. After World War I the French were engaged in clearing of the sites. In Baalbek the grandiose temple ensemble consisting from the yards ornated by a carving. In one of them the remains of the big building of an altar are open. The big temple. The so-called Temple of Jupiter. Well remains small temple. The so-called Temple of Bacchus or Mercury. And the round temple. The so-called Temple of Venus. With a 4-columned portico remained in ruins. In the 13th century the territory of Ensemble was turned into fortress. The remains of walls, towers remained. To the east from ruins of the big mosque and a minaret. The Temple of Jupiter represents a big construction. Some blocks of the basis weigh 800 to 1,000 tons. To a certain extent, this construction surpasses Pyramid of Cheops, which largest granite block. A stone over an entrance to the Sarscam weighs 90 tons to specify. The biggest block in Baalbek, the called Southern Stone, from the ancient Arab name Gair al-Qibli, which wasn't taken out from a stone quarry, but on all signs was intentionally prepared for end of the platform, reaches the weight of 1050 tons. In 2014, after excavation near the Southern Stone, the block weighing about 1650-1670 tons was found. The main riddle of Baalbek is represented by a terrace on which there is a temple of Jupiter. In her laying there are 3 plates, trilithon of Baalbek, weighing about 800 tons. According to one ancient legend, these blocks lay here eternally and were considered as sacred. These blocks are located at the height of 7 meters. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.